You know that stack of books on your nightstand? The one that keeps growing while you tell yourself you'll get to them eventually? That pile isn't just unread books. It's a graveyard of good intentions, and every time you look at it, you feel like a fraud. You want to be someone who reads, who learns, who grows, but the weeks blur together and suddenly it's December and you've finished 3 books all year. Here's the truth. Reading a book a week isn't about reading faster. It's about building a system that works with your actual life, not some fantasy version where you have endless free time. I'm going to show you exactly how to read 52 books a year without speed reading gimmicks or waking up at 4 a.m. This is about strategic selection, active reading techniques, and time blocking that actually fits into your schedule. Let's get into it. Strategy 1. Kill the wrong books before they kill your momentum. Here's what you do first. Stop reading books that don't deserve your time. You've been taught that quitting a book is failure. That's garbage. Finishing a mediocre book is the real failure because it costs you the chance to read a great one. Your new rule: give every book 50 pages. If it's not clicking, if you're forcing yourself through every paragraph, if you're checking how many pages are left, you're done. Drop it. No guilt. You're not in school anymore. Nobody's grading your comprehension. This isn't about collecting participation trophies. Think about it like dating. You wouldn't marry someone after 3 boring dates just because you started the relationship. You picked that self-help book because the title sounded good. Turns out it's 300 pages of fluff that could have been a blog post. Your coworker raved about that business book, but it's putting you to sleep. That novel everyone loves just isn't landing for you. Move on. The compounding effect here is brutal. One bad book takes 3 weeks of painful reading. That's 3 potential great books you missed. Over a year, that's 15 books you didn't read because you were being responsible and finishing what you started. Drop the dead weight. Strategy 2. Design your reading window and protect it like your life depends on it. Here's the system. You need 30 minutes a day, and it can't be leftover time. It has to be scheduled, non-negotiable time that you defend like it's a meeting with your boss. Most people say they'll read when they have time. That's why they don't read. Time doesn't appear. You carve it out. Pick your window right now. Here are some examples of reading windows. Morning coffee before everyone wakes up gives you quiet, focused time when your mind is fresh. Lunch break instead of scrolling turns wasted time into productive reading sessions. Right before bed instead of watching another episode helps you wind down with something meaningful. The time of day doesn't matter. The consistency does. Block it in your calendar. Set an alarm. Tell your family this is your time, because here's what happens without this. Tuesday, you're too tired. Wednesday, there's a crisis at work. Thursday, your friend needs to vent. Friday, you deserve a break. Suddenly, it's next Tuesday, and you've read 12 pages in a week. That's not a schedule. That's hoping reading happens to you. Your brain needs the pattern. Same time, same place, every day. Your mind starts preparing. You sit down and you're already in reading mode because you've done this 20 days in a row. You're not fighting resistance anymore. You're just executing. And 30 minutes is the magic number. It's short enough that you can't talk yourself out of it, long enough to make real progress. That's 25 to 40 pages depending on the book. Do the math. 35 pages a day is 245 pages a week. Most books are 200 to 300 pages. You just read a book a week. Strategy 3. Active reading turns pages into knowledge. Passive reading is why you finish books and remember nothing. You moved your eyes across words. Cool. What changed in your brain? Active reading is different. It's engagement. It's conversation with the author. Here's the technique. Keep a pen in your hand. Underline sentences that hit you. Write one-word reactions in the margins. Fold the corner of pages with big ideas. This feels messy if you've been trained to keep books pristine. Get over it. Books aren't museum pieces. They're tools. When you underline, your brain flags it as important. When you write a note, you're processing, not just consuming. You're creating a dialogue. The author says something. You respond, even if it's just yes, or try this, or disagree. That's active reading. At the end of each reading session, take 2 minutes. Write 3 sentences about what you just read. What was the main idea? What surprised you? What are you going to use? This isn't a book report. It's a forcing function. Your brain has to synthesize instead of just absorbing and forgetting. The difference is massive. Passive reading, you finish the book and retain maybe 10% a month later. Active reading, you've built connections. You've got marked pages you can flip back to. You've got notes that revive the whole context. You actually remember what you read because you interacted with it. Strategy 4. Match books to energy levels. Not all reading is equal, and your energy isn't constant throughout the day. Stop pretending it is. Dense philosophy book at 10 p.m. after a brutal workday? You're going to read the same paragraph 5 times and absorb nothing. Here's the system. Categorize your books by cognitive load. Heavy books need fresh brain. Light books can handle tired brain. Here's how to categorize your books. Heavy books include complex nonfiction, technical books, challenging literature, anything that requires real focus. Read these during your peak energy time. Light books include narratives, biographies, easier fiction, anything that flows without massive cognitive effort. These are your evening books, your tired brain books. For most people, peak energy is morning. Your brain is sharp. You can handle dense concepts. Trying to read Kant when you're exhausted isn't discipline. It's stupid. You're going to hate reading and quit. Match the book to your brain state. Keep 2 books going if you need to. 1 heavy for peak hours. 1 light for wind-down time. This also solves the momentum problem. You're tired, but you want to maintain your streak? Grab the lighter book. 20 pages of a good story before bed. You kept the habit alive. You didn't break the chain. You're still moving forward. Strategy 5. Strategic selection beats random picking. You walk into a bookstore and grab what looks interesting. You buy books your friends recommend. You collect books that sound impressive. Then you try to read them, and you're forcing it because they're not actually what you need right now. Strategic selection starts with a question. What do you need to learn right now? What problem are you solving? What skill are you building? What world do you want to understand better? Here are examples of strategic reading. You're launching a side business? Read 3 books on that specific topic back to back. You're struggling with relationships? 4 books on communication and psychology. You want to understand history? Pick an era and go deep with multiple perspectives. This creates reading momentum because each book builds on the last. You're developing expertise, not collecting random facts. The second book references concepts the first one introduced. The third book challenges ideas from the first 2. You're having an education, not just reading. And here's the brutal truth. Some books on your list don't actually interest you. You think they should interest you. You think smart people read them. You're trying to be someone you're not. Delete those books. Life's too short to read books you're supposed to like instead of books you actually want to read. The compounding effect. Here's what happens when you actually do this for a year. You read 52 books. That's 52 different perspectives, 52 areas of knowledge, 52 conversations with minds you'd never meet otherwise. But the real magic is compounding. Year 2. You read faster because you've built the habit. You choose better because you know what you like. You retain more because you've practiced active reading for a year. You're not starting from zero. You're building on 52 books of foundation. 5 years of this, you're 250 books ahead of the person you'd be otherwise. That's not a small difference. That's a different life. Different conversations. Different opportunities. Different thinking. Start today. Pick 1 book. Block 30 minutes tomorrow morning. Keep a pen nearby. That's it. You're not committing to 52 books. You're committing to 30 minutes tomorrow. Do that 365 times, and you'll read a book a week. Simple system. Massive results.